Alright, with any luck, this will be live. I'm going to grab a machine to fix. So we have a few that I want to get through tonight. I guess we'll take this one first. This is an A1465 that sometimes turns on, sometimes doesn't. So we'll see what we find here. So let me plug this in, see what this does. So A1465 or pretty much any older MacBook that randomly does not turned on. Love it. So any random not turning on stuff is probably corrosion somewhere. That's usually you'll just find some random area of corrosion somewhere. Trackpad cable is common on Airs on 1465 or 1466. Stuff around the SMC is common. Sometimes people's chargers are bad and they just have a dead battery. But we'll figure this out in just a second here. So if the board, if there's no signs of corrosion anywhere and it's totally clean, I would, my step there would be to just stress test it, see what happens under stress test, and if it doesn't shut down, I would think it's probably more, something else going on, because if you could stress test something for like 5-6 hours, there's probably not going to be an issue there. Another thing that can cause shutting off, not turning on, would be a bad SSD, which is quite common, especially since these are getting older and the SSDs are getting worn out. That's another thing to take in consideration. If you want to replace the SSD with an OEM SSD, you could only get used OEM drives, and most of the used OEM drives have like 50 terabytes written, and they're nearing the end of their life. So what I've been replacing them with is SanDisk SSDs with an adapter. I don't trust any of the aftermarket drives on the market other than the NVMEs made by Samsung or SanDisk, because I generally just don't. They're just not as reliable. So this is pretty clean here. So in an air that's clean, randomly not turning on, I suspect we would find some corrosion maybe around the SMC. If not, the trackpad cable is common too to get corroded. So I'm going to have a look here. Kopaz is here. Hi from SCV, Santa Clarita Valley, I believe you mean? It's right down the road from here, not far. I've actually been thinking probably in the next couple of years, I kind of want to get out of the city that I'm currently in, and Santa Clarita would be one of the areas that I would consider going to if I'm still in California at that point. I kind of want to get out of California. How do people respond when you tell them you swap their SSD with a regular M2? They don't respond. Most customers don't know what that is, and they just say, okay. Some people will throw the argument, oh, well, I want an OEM, I want an Apple drive. And what they don't understand is that Apple drive is actually a Samsung or a SanDisk drive. That's what it is. They are made and designed by SanDisk or Samsung. So clean trackpad cable, so that could be excluded. That's the thing, is before, when you could get plenty of OEM drives that had like low hours, that had like 1,000 hours on it, because a lot of people that have these computers don't necessarily use them all the time. They only use them when they're traveling, or you see some MacBooks, like I had 2012 in, and the power on hours, it was the original drive too, was like 1,500 hours. And like, okay, for example, I've had this Mac Mini for like a few months, and it's been on all the time, and it already has like 2,000 hours on it. So people oftentimes don't use their stuff, and prior you could get low hour drives like that, and you just can't anymore. It's harder and harder to find, and you get garbage now. What am I doing here? I need a magnet. That's right, Cobaz. I would be even surprised if Apple makes or designs these boards. I know they don't make them. Nobody makes their own boards in-house. Um, but I would be really surprised if Apple designed these in-house. They're most likely outsourced to an ODM that's making them to their specifications. Probably Quanta, Foxconn. There's so many companies that make boards. So I don't really think Apple designs these in-house. All right. It's late and I'm tired, and that's why I used the wrong screwdriver here. But at the end of the day, stuff still needs to get done. I was not in work yesterday, and I have to catch up. And my employee is on a vacation. Oh, this is an FRU board. Not fun. FRU boards are never fun, so. And the I/O cable was replaced, or the I/O board. What the heck? All right, let's have a look. Great, microscope camera is not working. Just a second here, and I'll fix my microscope camera with any luck. Unless the capture card decided to die. That's not what I want, and I'm upside down. Okay, let's unplug and replug. I think it's the camera screwed up. We will restart the camera. Not much is new up here. There we go. Q's Tech. I'm preparing for the iPad rehab course next month, which is going to be really exciting. So we're going to do a general pass over the board, and if I don't see anything that looks bad here, then this is probably going to get reassembled and stress tested. But this does not look like there's anything wrong here. Okay, now look at this. No, this is not. So see this staining here? It's kind of easy to assume this is liquid, but it's not. This is probably just flux residue. But then again, I see this right here, and that makes me think that maybe their liquid went under here, under the SMC. But this doesn't. This looks clean, so it's hard to say. Hall sensor looks good. Or it was ultrasonically cleaned at the refurbishing facility at one point in time. Hello. Alright, this is all it takes to cause a MacBook to not turn on sometimes. See that? That is JTAG corrosion. That's all it takes to make your MacBook not turn on. See this right here? See where it's crossing over to that pin? That's all it takes. That's it. There's some sticky junk in here, and that's it. Yep. That's our problem. Most likely. We can't say for sure, but that's most likely our problem. And there's some on the edge right there too. It's hard to see on camera, but there's definitely corrosion on that. So I feel kind of nice tonight. I was going to kill this brutally, but we're just going to use a little flux and then UC again, and we're good. All right, this could go in the queue for UC. And I will go grab our next machine. And in the meantime, you could look at my work area and my writing on my, you probably can't see this, but I needed a whiteboard to jot down some thoughts about a board. So I used my table. Probably wasn't the best idea, but it is what it is. You don't even have a label on this yet. All right. Definitely need to put a label on the MacBook before we work on it. MacBook. Yeah, that's all it takes. I did something stupid. These need to go in a bag. I don't usually disassemble stuff. My employee is out for a week on vacation, so I have not disassembled or reassembled devices in like months, so I'm kind of lost at the fact that we need to put this stuff in a bag and label it and put it with the computer. I use Repair Shop for Q-Tech. It does the job. Okay, I wouldn't say I'm not 100% happy with it, but it does the job okay. All right, how many can we fix tonight? Do you guys notice anything with the bitrate differently? Does the video look any better quality? Just curious. I don't know what 20H1 is. I tried to install. So I'm having an issue. I've been since my. It looks like every single ThinkPad T14 has this issue. It's a buggy trackpad, and it's related to the drivers Lenovo provided, and there's been no improvement. So I said, okay, I don't like Windows to begin with. Let's try Linux. Well, I come to find out that because the APU is all weird as far as firmware customization, everything goes, there's no video acceleration in Linux. So it's painfully slow. Okay, so the first thing I note is the trackpad has been unplugged. So let's see what this does. Let's plug in a charger. We get a green light, no power. Let's unplug. Actually, we need battery, trackpad, I/O unplugged. No power. All right, let's check voltage on our first rail, which we need to check on a MacBook Air, which is PP Bus G3 hot. You probably can't see this. Come on. All right. You can't see it. You have to believe me. All right, I'm not a liar. So you have to believe me here. All right, PP Bus G3 hot is 12.59 volts, so our issue is not as short. Usually very common on MacBook Airs, not the newer ones, the older ones. You get a short on PP Bus G3 hot, which causes no power. usually from a tantalum capacitor. That is not the case here because we are getting 8.59 volts. So our issue could be a number of things. We'll go ahead and start getting into this. Yeah, that's tearing issue. I don't know what is causing that. I set my FPS to 30. It does not do anything. So sorry about that. I can't do anything about it. I know people are complaining they don't want to watch because of the tearing. I don't have a solution for this yet. I don't know what it is. And when I get time, I will, oops, gotta unplug the charger. I will look into it, but I've tried to fix it so far, and I have nothing I've done was able to solve it. It could be something to do with the fact that OBS is running emulated in an ARM-based OS, so I don't know. The reason why I'm using the Mac Mini as my primary computer is I've been doing more and more stuff that I need access to DFU mode on MacBooks, and I need access to Apple Configurator 2 on a near daily basis, and it made more sense to use this as my computer than walk to another part of the store to use that when I could just, reach over to my USB-C plug right here and plug in a board and put it in DFU mode to check something, rather than, walking across the store to another computer running Mac OS. So my streams never get blessed, Kopaz. Most people do not. I don't like streaming anymore because every single time I stream, like I swear, every single time I do a stream and leave the stream up, somebody complains, "Oh, this is 2 hours long. I'm not watching this. You need to do shorter videos if you want people to watch." Every time someone decides to leave a comment like that, and yeah, that's why I don't like streaming. So I usually I usually put the streams on unlisted after I'm done. I'll probably leave this one up, but we'll see. Aha! Alright. It took me very little time to find this. Chat, what is this? Before I go into what this is, I want the chat to guess, what are these resistors for? Why are they important? I want to know. What are they for? Why are they important? And I don't know how this is going to work when I do display capture to show you guys, because I have a vertical monitor, and I don't think it's going to like a vertical monitor. Let's see, how bad will this be? Oh, that's not that bad. All right. I like vertical monitors. So anyway, I should probably open the correct board here. It's been so long since I worked on a 1466. All right. So let me just drag this back over here because I want you guys to tell me, what are these resistors for? I want to see if anybody's paying attention. Not resistors on PP3V42. EEPROM, good guess. So SPI termination. So BIOS. BIOS is very important because without the BIOS, nothing works. It holds very important instructions it tells the CPU what to do. It had a lot of instructions in it. So on the newer boards, the T2 boards, the T2 is acting as the BIOS. T2 is an absolute pile of nonsense that it makes, I don't know who in the right mind thought that was a good idea to incorporate clock, BIOS, everything into the T2 chip. It was so stupid. It's such an unreliable, buggy system. That's changed with the M1s. They have an actual BIOS chip. They have an actual clock chip, and I like that. Anyway, SPI termination resistors. These are communication lines. These communicate via the BIOS to the SMC, to the CPU. This particular one communicates with the SMC. Obviously, that's needed to turn on. This one is going to communicate with the processor. It's going to go through a resistor right here, SPI meso, which goes to our processor. It's a very important circuit, and if this does not work, our board is not going to work. So in this case, we're probably going to have to look at the traces there for one, because they're probably going to be corroded. But we're going to have to replace some resistors too, and that's probably going to be our main issue. Let's get some flux down, and let's get to work. I'm going to change the lenses in my microscope. I'm using these 20x lenses, and I'm seeing double, and I need less zoom. I've been looking through the scope probably 10 hours today, so I'm going to put my 10x lenses back in. Ah, much better. Much, much better. Okay, now I can actually see clearly. Is it in focus, you guys? No, it's not. I will slow down when I teach officially, but right now I want to work before the caffeine wears off. So it looks like these three I'm not going to trust here. Yeah, that one just fell off. Like, one of them wasn't even held on by any solder. It crumbled. Look at it. There's no resistor there. It's just ash. Interesting. There. I don't think it exploded. I think it just turned to ash. Look at that. We may not even need to run a wire here. We might be able to get away with no wire. That would be a dream. This is not a 1080p microscope camera, so that will not work, unfortunately. But, oh man, this screen tearing is awful. Let me see what I can do. I didn't realize it was this bad. Hang on. Properties. Oh, it is in 1080p. Maybe that's why. Let's go down to... No, it should be able to do 1080p. It's set to 30 FPS. I'll go back up to 60. Now it's not tearing as bad. It was tearing awfully at 60. Now it's not. Alright, whatever. That's better. So whenever we have traces like this, I just like to scrape at the oxidation. It also tells me the condition of the pad. And these pads are not bad. They're not falling apart. And I could just bridge solder across these right here. I just want to expose the trace a little bit. Now what we're going to do is put some flux down. Zoom out a bit. I need to switch my tip. We have some corrosion near backlight too that I just noticed. So I'm just applying, I'm not even applying pressure here. I'm just lightly moving the iron across it, and I just want to get rid of all the oxidation on those traces and pads. Just like that. And now there's no more corrosion left. Those look nice and pretty. Let me grab a donor board. 14. You know what? It's been so long since I worked on an A1466, and this makes me so happy that I have an A1466 on my bench. I swear, I love these machines. Touch bar. I've had only touch bar stuff for a long time, and touch bar stuff makes me want to be hauled off to the insane asylum. And if I didn't get another touch bar, I'd probably be hauled off to the insane asylum. I mean, if I didn't get an air, I'd probably get hauled off to the insane asylum sometime next week. Or this week. I know that's not soldered, I just want to tack it down. Remember, heat exposure is bad. Less heat, the better. While that area cools, let's look at how... Oh, yeah. So this would not have backlight, for sure. I don't trust that driver, and here's more resistors that are just turned to ash. Totally turned to ash. So let's replace the driver and these two resistors. So if I'm going to say these are backlight enabled resistors, if I remember correctly. Wow, look at that. Just gone. Nothing left. Driver was fine, but why risk it? We need to scrape that. Definitely will need a wire there. Go Baz, I heard you got a new job today on the stream. What are you doing now? Alright. Alright, this is concerning because this actually looks like at one point in time I might have had a small internal short here. The reason why I say this is it looks charred, and look at the area that looks kind of like it's raised up right there. So that does concern me. That's just ground though, so I am going to just try and clean that up a bit. That'll definitely need a wire. But hopefully if this is an internal short, it's not too deep. It's not, it's just the the layer is just corroded. I kind of want to remove all that, but it's just this area right here, so that's all right. Hopefully we won't need a wire under the backlight driver, because the wire under the backlight driver would be terrible. Now let's see where this goes. Nope, it's just the 12-volt line. Hey, my mom is in chat. Everybody say hi to my mom. Yeah, so that's just PPVin SO SW LCD backlight. So we'll just run a wire to that when we're done. So I'm just gonna get flux here and flux and solder here. A lot of corrosion on this trace, so I just want to make sure all of it is completely gone because I don't want to put any on top of it. I'm going to wick again. And look at that. Nice trace. Nice pads. No corrosion left over. One little spot on the LPD 550. And now to find a donor that actually has the parts that I need, because 1466s, most of them here all have their stuff stolen off of them. What do you know? Here's one. These tweezers are terrible. I swear, I probably go through like 5 pairs of tweezers a week. Tony donated $5. Thank you. No, we don't re-hot CPU here. No refilling CPUs. No. Get back here. Whatever, you could be upside down. That's fine. I don't feel like screwing it up, and yeah. Now it's time for our driver. Let's just check continuity to our feedback trace, because sometimes this feedback trace blows. You could check this by just putting one lead of your meter here, and your other one, your feedback trace. Put my meter in the right mode, and it's good. LP8550. Oh, I took 2 out. Remember, I still have a stockpile of LP8550 because I thought they were going out of production in 2019, and I bought like 200 of them, or even more. I don't remember. I bought a lot, and I just dropped one on the floor, which is sad. Oh well. But I bought a lot of LP8550s, and I still have a stock of them. I think what I did is I just bought everything that Arrow had. So whatever Arrow stock was at the time, I bought them all. And then I tried to find something that would work with it, and I used LP8552. I bought some LP8552s, which is now out of production for real. But the LPD552 works. The LPD552 is basically identical. How and where do I leave? Don't leave a tip. You do not need to leave me a tip. I'm good. Come on. It's in place now. So now my next step is I got to run a little wire from this little resistor over to the other side of the board. Yeah, they used to have free overnight shipping here. Now they charge, and it's like, I think last time I tried to order them, there was like a $50. Where do I buy all these chips and filters? The chip, you can get them from Mauser, DigiKey, Arrow Electronics, pretty much any electronics distributor. The filters and stuff, resistors, I get off of a donor board. You get them off of any electronic supplier as well, as long as you know the values. They're not too hard to find. Just look them up in the schematic and you'll know what value there are. If you don't know where to get a schematic, then I can't help you, because I've went over that. Everybody has went over that a million times. And I just told somebody today in the MacBook board repair community group on Facebook, I literally posted a Google link, and they said, "Oh, that's against the rules." I didn't post a Google link. I posted a Google search. And so, I'm done with that stupidity there. Tony, you're stop being a scammer. Tony's trying to scam my mother, and that won't stand here. Tony will get banned. Are you coming to the course, by the way? on. I haven't done wires like this in a long time. I'm rusty. Not rusty, I just haven't done them in a long time. Where's my flux? Great. I had my flux. Oh, here. It's right in front of my face. Gotta love when you can't find something right in front of you. I think there's only one slot left. It may have already filled, so I don't know anymore. Keep in mind this whole area is going to get conformal coated after, so flux. So I'm not holding the course here. I've been having a lot of people message me about wanting to take a one-on-one course here, and I'm considering setting something up for that, just one-on-one. I don't know because it's hard to do so and it's a lot of time. It's something I'm considering. I don't know if I'm gonna do one-on-one courses yet, but it's something I have been thinking about, and I'm possibly considering. Let's see if it boots now. Alright. We have 2 more to fix. Maybe 2 more to fix. Adam, you didn't call me. You can't tell me you didn't call me if you didn't. Wait, what am I saying? You can't say I didn't answer if you don't call me. I was not at work yesterday, though. I'm not sure what that says, Victor, unfortunately. Don't tell everybody in chat, don't tell Adam I gave him a fake number. He can't know that I gave him a fake number. I see you're still ugly. Fan spin. The fan is spinning. Do we get image? Backlight? A live MacBook? Hey, Apple logo and backlight. This is fixed. And it's booting. And my head hurts. But that doesn't matter because we have MacBooks to fix. And we have a phone call from Adam right now on the stream. But I'm streaming, so Adam, I'm pretty sure you can see this. I can't answer this right now because I'm streaming. So I could dox your number though, because it's on my screen. I just have to hit display capture, and then everybody gets your number. So I could do that. It's probably booting in recovery mode. That always happens. I swear. Every time I do a video or stream, and I want to show, I want to show something working, booting into an operating system, it boots into recovery mode every single time. There we go. It booted. So this is fixed. This is good to go. So to recap, corroded SPI termination resistors, corroded backlight driver, and surrounding resistors in a wire. How we will, after ultrasonic, conformal coat that wire so it doesn't interfere with anything, and then we're done deal. So this is going to go in queue for the ultrasonic cleaner, and I will be right back to put this over there. Are you seriously at work? Yes, I am at work. See? Work, not home. How else can I prove? Let's see. See? Workshop, not home. I don't have a shop at home. Wait, bottom case. Another one for ultrasonic. And no way, I have another air. We'll take care of this air. So this one, you guys probably can't hear me. I should probably shut up, since I'm across the whole store. Alright, this is an air that turns on, but apparently has a lot of corrosion. Wow, you can hear that far? It's all the way across my store. Justin's gonna visit. Who's Justin? Which Justin? I know many Justins. My store is not 300 square feet. My store is like 1,300 square feet. I need to show you guys how the store looks now compared to when I first expanded. Still a screw. What? Oh man, what? Oh, this smells bad. Oh, gross. All right, this is gonna go in the ultras. I don't want to touch this. It's gross. Anyway, this turns on somehow, but whenever I see something like this, yeah, this is gonna get ultrasonic first before I touch it. But hey, it works. So definitely gonna need some component replacement, but it works. So yeah, it turns on. But yeah, this I touched it. Gross. That's strange. I'm getting a call from a unknown number, and I'm streaming. That concerns me. Yeah, the battery's stuck. Hey, this one's for later. Um, no, that was not a Nell that peed in front of my store, but somebody did pee right in front beyond me. Somebody gave my number someone. All right. Next one. Or it's just Adam star 67. Touch bar. Yuck. My label maker broke. What happened here? How did this happen? This is what my employee is here for. It wrapped like a bunch of... How did this happen? I don't understand. All right, just I want to do a 2020 2289 repair. I don't really want to work on a 2289. I've had too many 2289s. I've had too many 2020 2019 MacBooks. Okay, your stream is distracting. I'm going back to work and watching House. Just remember, if you're in doubt, ask yourself. WWHD. I like Dr. House. Good show. Lovely. 822. What's this do first? It probably has dead CPU. It probably has dead CPU. Who are we kidding? I've had so many boards this week. Backlight pin corroded. Dead CPU. If this turns on, gets 20... Trackpad click and no image. What did I say? 36 milliamps. That's going to be a dead CPU. It always is a dead CPU on this model. Every single time on a 2280, a 2289 or an A1989, not so much A1706. 2289 or 1989 or 2151, any a drop of liquid hits that LCD connector, processor is dead. Paul Daniels is here. That's alright, you can't win them all, but I swear, almost every... This is an A2289, Paul. This is a 2020 13-inch touch bar. This is the touch bar with the two USB ports directly before... I mean, the two USB-C ports directly before the M1 machine. All right, place your bets, guys. What's it gonna be? Is the CPU gonna be toast? Is it gonna be something else? What is it gonna be? No, it's clean. All right, we have something else going on. Let me unplug the battery. Let's do a little visual here first. Yeah, so we have corrosion, heavy corrosion in this area. Probably most of this here is going to be good after flux and heat. There's probably, this is mainly backlight right here. We don't know what's on the other side of the board, of course. My main concern is under this shield here. That's my concern. But let's continue. Ah, my head hurts. Must keep fixing though. I'm getting tired. Oh, gross. I touched it. Ugh. Now this, we have no schematic, we have no board view, no nothing. So The issue is still there with the microscope camera. So that's with my settings before. This is a 82001-987. Why don't I wear gloves? I don't know. Mainly because I don't want to walk over and get them right now. Micro had surgery? Paul, what happened? What happened with Micro? Somebody is outside my store right now. That's interesting. I might not fix this board tonight. I'm tired. So I might sign off soon. That's how I go energy-wise, is I have a ton of energy and I'm just going and then I stop. That's how I work. Oh, okay, so nothing major. It is set custom 1080p Q stick. Is this my thing? I had my... No. Where'd my little tool for the standoff go? I had a little bit for my standoff remover right here. Here it is. No, that's not it either. Where did it go? I need that thing. Where'd my bit go? Oh well. Can I get it? It looks like it's kind of loose to begin with. Nope. Alright, this is depressing. Where is my standoff bit? It's always right up here. And now it's not here for some reason. That's sad. Where's my standoff bit? Oh well. I will either grab another one or use wire cutters. Oops. I think I just broke the screen on my laptop. The chair. Okay. Let's see. My chair literally just smashed the screen on my laptop, my ThinkPad, against my bench. Alright. Now, if this was a MacBook, it would have a broken screen. As much as I kind of dislike this laptop, I bet the screen is fine. Uh-oh. No, it's fine. See? So, yeah. What's depressing is you have to run Windows only on this thing. Alright, where's my standoff? Let me find a different standoff bit. I swear that bit was right there. Here it is. Right in front of my face. You could even see the mark where the chair hit it on the... You see that? Like I felt it like Bo when my chair hit it. It's still fine. All right. So I don't have a donor for this, so we're going to have to make do with what we see, and that includes removing some capacitors and touching up some resistors. So, first things first, and I'm concerned about under this shield because the T2 and the PMIC is under there. So I have to check under that in ways that I will not discuss on this stream. Just kidding. Anyway, flux. I'm just going to boil this area at a low temperature. This, I do want my fume extractor on because you can see that I'm coughing. And that is not because of COVID. That is because of flux fume inhalation. So I'm going to do 265 actually. Because I don't want to cause issues with these connectors. So what I'm doing here is just putting flux over everything and heating. And what this is going to do is it's just going to dissolve all the corrosion and make it non-conductive. Once it's all dissolved and eliminated, then it's not going to pose any harm for the system board. And then on the other side, we had some minor liquid near the, these are for backlight. Let me just check for a short on backlight because we could probably just touch these up unless there's infiltrates in the capacitor themselves. Once there's infiltrates in the capacitor, then it will short over time. So we'll check for that. We'll just look really closely at them after ultrasonic, but that should be all right. Yeah, these are good. This chip right here, this ELC18, it's a TPS something or other. This needs to go, and I'll show you why. Hopefully, I think this is for one of the NANDs. It may or may not be, but I hope not, because that's not good if it is. Let's check. Oh, that's not good. That's also not good. That looks... I don't know. I think that'll be alright after ultrasonic. No idea what that chip does. Again, this is a new model. No schematic, no board view. That could have probably stayed, but eh. Why risk it? Just gonna move in with my iron for some fine work here. This capacitor is clearly, yeah, look at this. So this cannot stay on the board. That's gone. So are these. These are just, I'm going to guess, for Wi-Fi signal strength. I don't know if these are important or not, but we'll find if they are. If something doesn't work, then we will replace these with a suitable value. But at this point, leaving something on that looks like this is more risk than just leaving it off. Simply because if the capacitor is infiltrated by corrosion, it will fail to unline. So again, these I'm not concerned about. They're more risk being on the board than not. Most of the stuff you'll just, if something is important, the worst we're going to get in this area is low Wi-Fi signal strength. But like I said, if something's not working, then what I'll do is I will find a high-rated capacitor rated in the same voltage or higher voltage than what's on that line, and I'll replace it there. But I don't think we'll run into any issues. Come on, little bridge, get off of here. There we go. That's not what I want. No. Got a 1466 always powering off after 30 to 40 seconds. It's booting normally to lock screen and goes a few seconds later. Everything disconnected, fan stops spinning. Probably a bad SSD. Would be my guess there. I made a mess here. There we go. Nope, I've never fixed a TV, and I do not plan on fixing any TVs. I really don't want to pull that. The risk, why I don't like pulling that big shield off is the risk of floating the capacitors. So I'll pull it if I need to, but I'd like to avoid it. What about the online course that you programmed? Did it was good? Question. I didn't program any online course. If you're talking about the course that I'm going to teach in June, that is not an online course. You have to be present in New York, at iPad Rehab, and I think it's full. I think there might be one slot available. So if you want to fly out to New York at iPad Rehab's location, then you should probably do it sooner than later. Just go on the website and check it out, the iPad Rehab website. But I think the course is full, so you might be too late there. But the course is $3,000, and it will be held in New York. There's no online option at this time. Alright, I really have a headache, so I really want this to work. I'm from France. What? Well, I'm sorry, there's no online option at this time. I didn't mean to say it in a rude way or anything. If I came across rude, that wasn't what I intended. But I firmly believe that an online course is not a good idea, because you just don't get the same level of hands-on experience there. It won't work, in my opinion. So after ultrasonic, hopefully we'll be okay here. This one chip here, let me see what I can do here. I have a MacBook Pro 82159 or 20 volts and 0 amps. Okay. That could be a number of things. Yeah, I'm gonna pull this chip and resolder it. I don't want to risk it. Q's Tech, I'm curious how you test the X-ray. Do you actually power up the tube, or do you just how do you do that on X-ray machines? Because some of those are pretty high power, and you got to be careful with the radiation on those. On some of them, I mean, a lot of them are very low power too, but. Ah, come on. There we go. My microscope is just dry. It needs some lube. Yeah, the voltage is not really. I'm not scared of the voltage on them. I mean, the two voltages are 60, 70 kilovolts. They're very low amperage. Um, but on the units that output like 120 milliamps or whatever, that's quite a bit of radiation. Depending on exposure time. I mean, if you're only going to pulse the tube for like 0.1 seconds, yeah, don't worry about it. It's only going to be like 10 microsieverts. But when you start getting up there into the seconds, and yeah, you could rack up your dose pretty quick. Now, if you're working on dental X-rays, then yeah, like go crazy because the dosage is so low on those things. But X-rays don't really scare. The actual X-ray waves do not scare me that much. Unless you want to have kids, of course. If you want to have kids, probably invest in a lead vest before working on X-ray equipment. Alright, I think we're okay to test now. I think this will look a lot better after a good ultrasonic cleaning. I mean, yeah, this is bad, but oh, this is a ROM of some kind. Either way, the next step here is a ultrasonic cleaning, and then we'll take care of whatever's left after ultrasonic. But I mean, this doesn't look overly terrible. No one wants to have kids this fall. Yeah. I guess being around a lot of X-rays is one way to guarantee that that'll never happen. Like, yeah, just go on eBay, buy an X-ray machine, and just kick on that tube for a little bit. No worries about kids. No, I'm not suggesting anybody do that. Just to get that clear. So don't do that. That's unsafe. That's not safe. It's joking. It's humor. Don't do that. I think there was one thing I missed. This looks like a transistor of some kind, so probably for backlight. It looks like the old style backlight MOSFET, but I don't know for sure. So I'm going to try and solve this before trying to find a compatible replacement, because again, I don't know what any of this is. I'm making an educated guess because we do not have a schematic, we do not have a board view. So I could only make an educated guess. I can't know for sure. Nobody could know for sure. The only person that could know for sure is the engineer at Quanta or Compal or Foxconn that designed this thing. And unfortunately, I don't know his number, but if anybody wants to send me his number, I could probably call him and wake him up and ask him, hey, buddy, what's this component on this board? There's somebody on Facebook that claims to be an Apple engineer by the name of Anthony Farley. So, if you're on Facebook, message Anthony Farley. There, that's good. Yeah, I don't like Foxconn either, Q-Tech. I doubt Foxconn does that. Foxconn might assemble the computer, but I don't think Foxconn designs motherboards. They might not, I don't know. But I do not like Foxconn as a company. If I were to choose who would be the best ODM, I would probably go with Compal or LCFC. LCFC is contracted with Lenovo, and they seem to do good work. So I would choose LCFC or Lenovo. I mean LCFC or Compal. I don't like Foxconn, and Lenovo's boards are designed by LCFC, and LCFC does the manufacturing too. I don't like Pegatron, I don't like Foxconn. These Apple boards are manufactured by Compaq, NYKS, or AT&S. Alright, this is rough. Not everything is plugged in. It has a ton of flux on it. There's corrosion still on it that needs to be ultrasonic. We will see if this boots. Alright, 20 volts, 0.0. So what that probably tells me is the current before was just from it trying to charge the battery. So yeah, this has a ton of flux on it. This probably needs to be ultrasonic before it'll even turn on. Let's try a different port, just the heck of it, and let me measure on PP bus, but I don't have high hopes until this is ultrasonic. So I'm going to say let's ultrasonic this, and let's go from there. Another possibility is it might be in DFU, and it's 12.32 volts, so it might probably be in DFU mode. Let's see. Let's plug in stuff. Maybe it's screwed up. Let's plug in keyboard. What else might this be picky about? It's a T2, so should get CPU V-core out of the enclosure though. So yeah, no, maybe not. I'm thinking of 2159. This is a new machine, so maybe this has some weird thing where it won't. Let's just plug most everything in. I don't know. These new T2 things, they did such a screw up with T2. It's absurd what they did. Whoa. I know 1989 and 2159 does not need battery connected. This is a weird. The M1 MacBook definitely. The M1 MacBook would not even get 20 volts unless the battery was connected. So 5, 20, 0. Alright, so yeah, this doesn't work at all. So nothing's getting hot. Alright, it's ultrasonic time. I got a bad headache. I want to go home and go to sleep. So I'm signing off tonight. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next stream, whenever that might be. But at least we fixed some. What did we fix? 2? Yeah, 2. So, and that's about it. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next stream. Q's Tech Service. Have you worked on an M1? Yes, I have. I've worked on one for data recovery. No, PP bus is present at 12.32, so it might even be in DFU. But my concern is maybe under that shield there's something, so that's my concern there. And that would make sense because there would have been corrosion. We would have washed flux under there. We would have heated it, and that might have, caused issues. So we'll see. But that's it for right now, and we'll see you in the next stream.